Welcome back to the Marching to Madness College Basketball Podcast this afternoon with Coach Matt McMahon of the Murray State Racers. They come in cresting with a 15-2 record, 3 straight convincing wins here by an average of 23.7 points per game. Coach, life's good up at Murray State right now.
Hey, Ken, thanks a lot for having us on the show. We've gotten off here to a pretty good start in league play. Due to some COVID cancellations from some other schools, we're in the stretch here where we're playing 8 games in 16 days. So quite a challenge here for us. We just finished our first 3. Players are off today, and we're back at it. Play at home on Thursday, Saturday, Monday. So really looking forward to getting back on the court.
Well, you had a huge 82-60 win over Belmont on Saturday night before coming back to beat Eastern Illinois 72-46 yesterday. Justice Hill had 36 points. He made 8 threes. Discuss his evening and then how you were able to take such a convincing win over the Bruins, who are always a solid basketball team.
Yeah, they're better than solid. Really good team. Juice Hill has had a terrific sophomore season. Really proud of him. He's worked extremely hard in the off season to put himself in this position, and he's having great success. His performance on Saturday in Nashville will be one that'll go down in Murray State history. 36 points. He hit 8 threes. He was 6 for 6 from 3 in the first half and had 25 points. But he's been really consistent for us all season long at the point guard position. Was thrilled with our players' defensive effort. I thought really locked in. As we all know, Belmont, one of the most efficient offenses in all of college basketball. And I thought our players really did a terrific job of getting stops and finding a way to win on the road.
Well, you had one day to prepare for Eastern Illinois, but you guys are used to that in the Ohio Valley. You usually play Thursday, Saturday, but now, like you were saying, you're stacking 3 games up like in 5 days. How does the prep change from adding an extra team and an extra day?
I'm sure there's probably a little bit of fatigue in there, Ken, but for us, for the most part, we try to spend the majority of our time on Murray State. So it doesn't change a whole lot for us as we go into these quick turnarounds. What I was most pleased with this weekend was our improvement at the defensive end of the floor. In our first 2 league games, we were not great defensively. And then Thursday, we held Tennessee State to 44, who came in averaging 89 in their previous 5 games. Then to limit Belmont to 60, and then turn around yesterday and hold EIU to 46. Really a great weekend for us on the defensive end of the floor.
Tevin Brown, 19 points, KJ Williams, 16 in a win over the Panthers. I know that's been a tough place for you to play in the past, but it was kind of like you had a take no prisoners attitude there early.
Well, our guys got off to a really good start from an execution standpoint. Our defense was great throughout the game. We had 1 2-minute stretch to end the first half where we had missed out on a loose ball that led to a layup, and then we had 4 turnovers that really were costly. But outside of that, we really played exceptionally well on the defensive end, which enabled us to get out and get some easy baskets in transition. But for us, you hit the nail on the head there. Tevin Brown, KJ Williams, both are guys who have been first team all league the last 2 years. Tevin in yesterday's game hit his 305th 3-point shot, which is a new Murray State record, breaking the record of all-time great Isaiah Cannon.
Mm-hmm.
So can't say enough about the years that both Tevin and KJ are having to this point.
Yeah, Tevin leads the Ohio Valley and scored at 18.5 points per game. He shoots 43.4% from 3. He can really affect the game, though, in so many ways, as well as scoring.
That's well said, Ken. I think he's had a reputation as an elite 3-point shooter his whole career, which he hit 90 as a freshman playing alongside Morant. But he just does so many other things well. Rebounds, assists, usually guards the other team's best offensive player. He's a guy who, Murray State basketball, all the great guards who have come through for the years. He's one of 3 players in our history with 1,500 points, 500 rebounds, and 350 assists. He'll finish top 10 in school history in assists. And then he needs, I think, 13 more threes to break the OVC all-time three-point shooting record. So just such a smart player, great motor, great competitor. Really happy for all of his success.
Yeah, he's very much must-see TV for anybody, who's watching college basketball in general. I mean, this kid is a catalyst. I mean, we identified him, beside Ja Morant a couple years ago.
Yeah.
DJ Burns is having a good year on the offensive glass, and he's shooting 63.4% from the floor, plays in and around the basket. A little bit about his skills, and how he complements all of those shooters and your pace.
A huge addition to our team. My kind of guy, just a hard playing guy. You know what you're going to get from him every day. He's averaging almost 4 offensive rebounds a game in only 25 minutes. You mentioned his efficient scoring around the basket. But Ken, I just always believe when you get a guy who plays with great motor and great energy, not only does that benefit your team, but it becomes contagious throughout your team. And I think that's really rubbed off on some of our other players, and really just brings it every single night, and has had a huge impact on our program.
Now you have 2 other transfers there. Trey Hannibal came over from South Carolina, and Carter Collins from Davidson. Talk a little bit about how they've accepted roles and what maybe other dimensions they might bring to your team.
Yeah, both really good players. Trey Hannibal's built like an NFL linebacker.
Yeah.
Point guard and the 2 for us as well. But he just does a little bit of everything. Really explosive off the dribble. He's incredible in transition. Had 8 defensive rebounds in our game yesterday, 4 assists. Outstanding defender. Just does a little bit of everything to impact winning for your team. And then Carter Collins, I'm really proud of him. He has not shot the ball this season at the level he's capable, but he's impacted our team in so many ways. He's really helped solidify our perimeter defense. He has a 6'8" wingspan, and he's been really good at that end of the floor. He averages less than a turnover a game, so he makes very few mistakes, always makes the extra pass that leads to open shots. Has been fantastic for our guys.
Coach, you mentioned your defense. Now you've gotten into conference play. You played 5 games. You're only giving up 60 points per game and 37.1% from the field. What's been the difference as you flip the page into Ohio Valley play?
Well, we didn't start well. In our first 4 halves, we gave up 40 points in 3 of them. And so we had a little bit of time last week to practice. I thought showed some improvement there. I think like any good defensive team, I think you have to have great strategy and scheme and all of that, but more importantly, effort, unselfishness, commitment to do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it. And I think our guys have really bought into that. We've been solid on the defensive glass. And when we do that, it enables us to get out and transition, where we've been really efficient scoring the ball.
Yeah, scoring at a 38.1% clip from 3. And the number I saw that impressed me was your assisting on average 15 of 21 makes. What's been important in the offensive efficiency of this team?
Well, number one, we have really good players. I think that's always most important there. But number 2, they're unselfish. And they're all bought into the team. I think our ball movement and screening has really improved as the season's gone along, which has led to higher quality shots. And, I think just the balance, being able to, as you mentioned, shoot at 38% from 3. But then we also have guys like KJ Williams who can really score in the post. Trey Hannibal, who's really explosive getting to the basket. DJ Burns, who gets some easy ones on the offensive glass, and then having 4 guys in double figures makes it hard to just key in on one guy.
Now, of course, we all know about John Morant and Cameron Payne just having outstanding careers. Cameron Payne played such a really cool role for the Phoenix Suns last year as they went to the NBA championship series and eventually lost to the Bucks. Every time you see these Ja moments, as his college coach, I'm assuming your chin drops too.
Oh yeah, I'm just big fan. The coach is titles long since gone. We talked about it when he was going through the draft process. The 2 things that really stand out. I know everyone will talk about the ridiculous plays and the insane athleticism and IQ and all those things that you see. But number 1, he's a culture builder. People gravitate toward him because he impacts winning. He plays with a relentless competitiveness, a great energy, and great unselfishness. And I think that impacts everybody in your organization. And you've seen that really develop here with the Grizzlies. It's been amazing to see. The second thing, Ken, is the NBA, it's about winning. It's also an entertainment, multi-billion-dollar business.
Yeah.
The most exciting, entertaining player in the world. It's so much fun to watch and so proud of him. And then you touched on Cameron Payne, really was one of the highlights of my coaching career. I got to take my son up to game 4 of the NBA Finals and watch Cameron play, and just so proud of his perseverance and hard work to put himself in this great position. You know, people forget he left here at age 20 as well. He's still got a lot of years left to play. So we're really proud of all the former racer greats, and not only on the court, but off.
Now you've got, as we're, I guess, about mid-season, you still got the bulk of your league games to play. How is this league maybe a little different this year? Are you seeing anything that as people play you, that they might try to play you differently than, maybe last year or in the past?
Well, I think probably early to tell. We'll see as we make the second round through the league. But, I still think, the league was rightfully predicted based on last year's champions. Belmont was clearly the regular season champion, and Morehead State had an incredible year. And they were the tournament champions, and both teams return a lot. So they're picked up at the top of our league. And then, as always with the OVC, it's a league that's dependent on newcomers, whether that's transfers or there's a freshman coming off injury at SIU Edwardsville, Rayshon Taylor, who's a huge impact on the league. You have a lot of Power 5 transfers who have come into the league. So it's still extremely early, a lot of basketball to be played.
Last thing, Coach, as you look at college basketball this season, if you were going to assign a theme to how it started, what would you assign?
Well, unfortunately, I don't get to watch as much as I'd like because we just focus in on Murray State and our opponents. But I know we got to play in the FedEx Forum at Memphis, and I had a great win there. And that's a huge game for us, just with all the great players like Cameron Payne, who you mentioned from Memphis, Jonathan Stark, Marcus Brown, and now being there with the Grizzlies. And then I think something that really helped us, we just completed a 3-year series with Auburn.
Yeah.
And they're good. It's one of the top 3 or 4 atmospheres in all of college basketball now. And I thought that was a great learning experience for our players, something that'll really benefit us as the season goes along. But I guess all in all, that one really stood out. Just the return of fans and energy and passion back in the building has been a lot of fun to see.
Coach Matt McMahon up in Murray State University, the Racers. It's always a pleasure, Coach. I tell you, you've already gotten a prediction from me that I had with Coach Bob Cantu on the podcast a couple of days ago. So I'm not putting any pressure on you, but I'm labeling you the mid-major team most likely to get to the Sweet 16.
Wow, Ken, I appreciate you having me on. The Racers only worried about going 1-0 on Thursday night. We'll keep a laser focus on that, but I appreciate the support. We definitely have a team that's going to have some special opportunities here in the weeks to come.